Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Pensacola International Super Speedway for the last chance qualifier event. And I'm joined once again by my man, Vince Freeze, using some different software this time.
Yep, here we are at Pensacola, under the lights in the Sunshine State. We've seen an incredible first three heats, and now these guys know it's Game 7, backs against the wall. We have a different entry list for Heat 1, or for LCQ 1 versus LCQ 2. We'll talk about that in a second. And of course, we got some big names. Who will make the field? Who won't? It's winner take all. Let's find out.
Yes, indeed, winner takes all. You got to win this race in order to make the 4th Annual NRSL Crown Royal 300, which will occur tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to 2021, by the way, guys. What a New Year's Day it's been. And tomorrow, January 2nd, going to be the main event. Sure to be a good show. 100 laps of racing around the track. But anyway, let's get to your starting top 10 here for LCQ number 1. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. on the pole with R.J. Bishop to his outside. Henry Williams and Bradley Ream, row 2. Allison Rain and Braden Perez, row 3. R.J. Reynolds in the car that won this race back in 2016. And Chad Marin in row 4. With Jack James and Joshua Johnson in row 5. As you go through the field, you see some other big names like Amanda Evans, Sam Young, Gatlin Downey, Henrietta Fitzwater, Kenny Moma, Priya McShane, Yael Carrillo, and Jonathan Zorlin. As the command has been given, we want to put the spotlight on two of our drivers here for a second. The first being two-time NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series champion, Allison Rain. Many of you might know her as Johnny Gardner. Allison and Amanda Evans, also formerly known as Rob Evans, announced recently that they were trans, and they are now in the midst of their respective transitions. We here on the Bulldog Speed channel support them 100%, and we wish them the best as they continue the race on this channel, in the NRSL, and in many other series across the board. Again, 100% support backing Allison Rain and Amanda Evans as we get ready to go green flag racing here in LCQ number 1. Best of luck to both of those girls.
Fitzwater knows he's got to make it happen. This is it, guys. It's backs against the wall. We're green flag for LCQ 1 at Pensacola. You have to be here. Fitzwater lead this in turns 1 and 2. We talked about the speeds. And
already over 200 miles an hour, man. Isn't it something?
These guys are going to be flying. These guys and gals are going to be flying. We talked about another thing, too, those big names. See where they come to the front. We know Zorlin's probably one of the biggest guys in this field. Fitzwater out front. So he's going to hold the lead for now. But here comes the pack behind with Williams and others.
There's R.J. Reynolds driving the car that won the 2016 Pizza Hut 300 back when it was called the Pizza Hut 300. It's been called the Crown Royal 300 since the second event, as we go 4 wide for second place. And that's Chad Marin on the inside there, making it 4 wide for second. But second place does not get you into the main event. You have to win it in order to be in it.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, is we've seen a lot of action happen around that lap 8 to 16 range, right? We've seen the first 2 races, lap 16 ending yellow. That would be it. The winner would be in first. And the old age question is that, do you want to be the leader entering that last stage of the race, or do you want to be in second on the last lap? Like you see Chad Marin here. We'll find that out later. And as well, we're going to go through some the people who made the field. Let's go through the broadcast as well.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to some of those drivers while things are kind of tame here. Just as a refresher course for those that might have missed it earlier this afternoon, the top 10 drivers in qualifying were Audra Baran-Auskas, Vincent David, Charles Sanford, Winnie Calhoun, William Brock, Donovan Cage, Patrick Franklin, Brendan Yodel, Connor Hurley, and Harry Lorraine, I believe it was. Or no, I forget. I think it was Harry Lorraine. There's so many different drivers that entered this event, as we have a bit of a split in the pack. And we have a caution. Oh, and Gatlin Downey was involved. He's got back end damage. RJ Bishop's day is over. Or night, rather. Oh, and Fitzwater, who started on the pole, was in it too. He's got heavy damage. Joshua Johnson. Looks like maybe Corey Raymond got a piece as they're slowing down off of turn 2. Sorlin appears to be clean. Let's just hope that Corey Raymond and nobody else runs him over, catching up to the pack here, as they are slowing up big time, trying to sort out the running order. And it looks like they will be good to go. But RJ Bishop and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. are already done here, Vince, on lap 4.
We talked about this, right? When will we see that yellow? And looks like guys are trying to get too aggressive too early. We'll see what happened in the replay. But for now, Chad Marin will take us to this lap 5. A yellow as we cross the line next time by.
Looking at the replay here to see what happened on lap 3, and it starts between Joshua Johnson and Gatlin Downey. And that these two are just going to meet in the middle of this 4 wide. They're not even. And they go into turn 3, and up the track they go into RJ Bishop, who had nowhere to go. Same for Fitzwater and Corey Raymond. And it's on from there. Amanda Evans just barely going to miss this. As hard licks for all up into the outside wall.
That's a cold night racing, guys. It's winners, it's checkers and wreckers, as they say, and these guys don't have to go fishing tomorrow to watch the race from the stands.
We'll see if any of these drivers continue the race. But Fitzwater and Bishop, I believe, are both done. And that is a tough break for them, so we will take you to the race restart. Welcome back to Pensacola International Super Speedway. Out of the race, RJ Bishop, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Gatlin Downey, and Joshua Johnson. And man, Vince, that just goes to show you, right? The front row of this LCQ race, both out of it in the first crash. You're not safe no matter where you qualify. And that can be said for the drivers that we mentioned qualified in the top 10 for the main event, especially for a 100-lap race, let alone this 20-lap event.
I think the stakes are, well, similar to the same, right? It's only winner takes all, but it's a difference between the main event where you can kind of pace yourself like a marathon, which we'll talk about tomorrow, versus this where it's 20 laps of fierce action. As Marin takes us back to the green flag. Look at Sam Young already, right? If you go back to him, he pans back. He's making a run on the outside. He knows things are going to be desperate. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another wreck here soon.
I mean, you talk about it. First 2 heat races. Heat race 1, heat race 2, caution lap 16. Heat race 3, caution lap 8. Here in LCQ number 1, I don't know if it's the nighttime or just the desire to go out there and make the main event. But lap 3, we have our first caution, as Ariana McShane will look for second place.
It'll be one of those full moons here in Pensacola. But right now, I think Marin, he can find out what he does in the pack, or in front. He can figure out how to make it through the pack, because we know some heavy hitters are coming. And let's see what happens. It looks like everyone's kind of getting up to speed. Don't expect a 3-4 wide, but they'll be coming soon.
And that's actually Arena McShane, not Ariana. My mistake there, but Arena will make the move on Chad Marin for the lead here. Coming to lap number 9, as we see Corey Raymond off pace from that accident. He was the only driver of the 5 involved to continue. So we see everybody here at the back just kind of strung out, trying to get up to speed. And there's Allison Rain and Amanda Evans. We talked about them in the pre-race show, trying to make this event. Only one of them can make it, and these two are very good friends, very respective competitors, and both of them want to win this race, as it would be the first big event they would be in under their new names, as they're in their transition there. But up at the front of the field, Arena McShane and Chad Marin are side by side, as here comes another McShane. That's Priya in the 18.
Yep, it's 4 wide. Now we start to see the 4 wide. We'll see what happens if this can last. But Rena McShane and Marin seem to be the two strongest cars. Here comes the Fitzwater's wife, Henrietta's down the inside looking to avenge Fitzwater.
And that's Luis Sancala there in the 50 car, or the 500 car rather, as they're going to go 4 wide. That's Averill Mead on the inside line. Getting a push from Robert Young, and we talked about lines here at Pensacola. The bottom and the middle, when you're 2 wide, can work very well if you've got the right draft partner, and you can see Marin making that outside line work as we're at 10 to go halfway through LCQ number 1.
I think it's go time, Zach. We're starting to see 4 wide, 3 4 rows deep. You know it's time. But right now, Marin, McShane, they seem to be a 2 double M combos out front. But here comes Amanda Evans. We talked about her. Same with Allison Rain as they go 3 wide here for third. That could be big. Looking for 4 wide, though. 4 underneath and their Arsenal.
That's Lucas Arsenal trying to make something work, but he's going to get shuffled to the middle by Nick Martinzet. As Amanda Evans, Robert Young pushing their respective drivers. It's female power on the inside line with Arena and Amanda. 9 laps to go there, and I'm telling you, the outside line here sets up for some crazy photo finishes. There at the start-finish line, only 100th separating the 19 and the 12, but when you look at the ticker here, you've got the entire 26-car pack within a literal, like, over a blanket right now. Like, 26th place is only 6/10 behind the leader at the start-finish line. That is insane.
And the funny thing is they're almost trying to go 5 wide. It's been these 2 at the front. It's almost like they got a bubble of air. Kenny Moen tried to look underneath, but he's getting shuffled. And look at that from that wide shot you see, just how close the pack is. One wrong move and we're in for disaster.
And they are 4 wide, several rows at the back of the pack. Rows, that is, not rolls. As some of them are not even, that could spell disaster. Ooh, as Ryan Jackson, I believe that is in the 60, was clipping the apron there, but the past couple of laps, it's been Arena and Chad leading their respective lines as, you know, 3rd and 4th place continue the cycle. Now they've got Joey Miles and Christian Vargas pushing them in their lines, as now here comes Jack James on the inside. Will RJ Reynolds make it 4 wide? Yes, he will.
Funny, because I think these 2 at the front maybe had something preconceived before the race. They just seem to be having that bubble of air. Everyone else is fighting for 3rd, but only one can win. As Reynolds, it looks like he's going to be under threat here, and no one can stay in line. It's interesting.
That time by Chad Marin led at the start-finish line, so we're seeing the top shape up a little better. As you're just seeing, like, everybody behind these front 2 just continue to cycle. A full mile and a half ago, RJ Reynolds was on the inside in turn 3, 4 wide. Now he's up top 4 wide.
I think they got to get him on. You can't win if you know what they say, right? To finish first, you must finish. None of these guys are trying to break it. Here we go. Marin's falling back. This might be the chance.
Ooh, the outside line wasn't really lined up there down the back straightaway, and that's going to allow Arena to clear him at 6 to go. Vince, we're at that lap where if we don't have a caution on this lap, if we take 5 to go, next wreck, you know, next flag ends the race. That's the point of no return. As I thought we had a caution for a second there, and my eyes were just playing tricks on me. As now Ryan Pritchard. Ryan Pritchard to the inside line. There's Sam Young. Lane Sanford. Second on the inside line. It's there they go. They're crashing.
This is a race back.
Will this give us a 1-lap shootout? Caution is out. Do you want to be the leader on a 1-lap shootout? That's the big question. And it looks like it's going to be Ryan Pritchard under caution. If this thing doesn't get back going, Ryan Pritchard will start 41st in the 4th Annual NRSL Crown Royal 300, but we have yet to see if those lights will go off when they take 2 to go. And this is where things can get dicey. Arena's going to jump to the apron, not trying to cause a problem. They're 4 wide still as they come off of turn 2. Ooh, be careful, drivers. And it looks like they will shape this up. Christian Vargas, I believe, might have got a piece of that. Allison Rain. Jack James. Yael Carrillo. All involved. Nobody retired, so it looks like a small scuffle going down the back straightaway. You can see all the skid marks here into turn 3. But 2 cautions in an LCQ, Vince. We didn't see that in the heat races.
That under the lights, full moon appeal, it seems like. It's go time, only the winner gets in. But we don't know if Pritchard won, right? Because this wreck happened on the back, and we weren't coming to lap 16 directly, we may still get that 1-lap shootout. Stay tuned.
Yeah, let's go take a look at that replay and see what happened to cause the second caution of the first last chance qualifier race. And we're looking at our most recent caution here. It starts between Yael Carrillo and Allison Rain, crowding just like in the first caution. Up the track they go. Jack James nowhere to go. They're all kind of straight here, and then right about there, Christian Vargas just has nowhere to go, and he's just going to finish off Yael Carrillo here and spin him around as Rain gets up into Jack James a second time. Not really a lot of heavy damage here, and then Carrillo is spinning in a 360 up the track. Does he get the wall? No, he doesn't. Look at that, Vince.
10 on the spin. I'll give him that. 10 out of 10 on the avoidance. If this was a gymnastics event, he definitely won that. But for Yael, with 1 lap to go on the restart, potentially, could be a night over. He'll have to go fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go see if we have a 1-lap restart or if it's over, said, and done, and if Ryan Pritchard is your race winner. We're about to go find out. We're back at Pensacola, and we were right. 1-lap shootout time. Winner takes all. Starts 41st in the 4th Annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. Vince, what position do you want to start in? By the way, nobody retiring from the second caution flag. Where do you want to be? You've got Ryan Pritchard leading, Lane Sanford second, Arena McShane third, Henrietta Fitzwater fourth, Luis Sancala fifth, Sam Young 6th, Brad Lewis 7th, Amanda Evans 8th, Priya McShane 9th, and Robert Young 10th. Because remember, they got to get up to speed. It takes about half a lap to 3/4 of a lap to get up to speed. Then draft is a factor. But when we've seen people packed up 3-4 wide, we have seen cars go from 19th to 4th in a lap. But when you're strung out like this, where do you want to be as we get ready to go green here?
First or second. I maybe 3rd or 4th, because we know McShane's had a strong car, but that's not going to help her case if she goes on the outside like that.
Arena and Luis both jump to the top. That is not the move to make. Lane Sanford, you can see closing up.
What does Fitzwater do? Does Fitzwater work with Sanford? And that will be the key.
Still taking their time, getting up to speed. Does Lane even have a shot at Pritchard? Into turn 3 they go. This is it. There's the move. Pritchard gave him the line.
Drag race to the line. I don't think Pritchard's got any help. I think this is Sanford's to lose.
Lane Sanford will get it done. Last turn pass to make the Crown Royal 300. How about that, Vince?
1-lap shootout, right? Roll the dice, and for Pritchard, just didn't know how to play that, right? I think the experience factor comes in. A lot of these guys, look at that. Look how close that was, though, for a second. Imagine if that was the finish.
Henrietta Fitzwater didn't have enough of a run, didn't get enough of a good restart to do anything with it. I think if we had a 2-lap shootout, things would have been a lot crazier. But of course, that was not the case. Sam Young 4th. Arena McShane looked like she had a strong car the whole race. 5th. Amanda Evans 6th. And then you just kind of go down the list of all the names that have not qualified for this event. But huge congratulations go out to Lane Sanford. And with that, we'll take a quick break, and we'll see you guys for the second Last Chance Qualifier event. Welcome back to Pensacola. We're gearing up for Last Chance Qualifier number 2, and Vince, man, what a finish in the first LCQ race.
Yeah, that was definitely wild. Great finish. Had some wrecks. And I don't know what to expect here, man. I think the same thing. I just think with the way these guys know it's win it or go home, expect some more craziness, especially since it's the last race of the night before we get to tomorrow.
Andrew Rich on the pole for LCQ number 2, but what LCQ number 1 showed us was that starting on the front row didn't really mean anything if you couldn't stay up front, as both Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and RJ Bishop wrecked out on the lap 3 caution. Nicholas Jawit starts to his outside. Mike Corvo, Marcos Yepes in row 2. Manny Salado, Ron Bishop, row 3. James Saunders and Cara Bell in a pair of golden cars in row 4. And in row 5, Jansen van der Haar and Pat Johnson. So we can look through a couple more notables. There's 2020 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series champion Samed Oskin looking to join Dylan Ibrahimian in the main event. We've got Kev Shearer, Nick Breeding, Ryan Brommer, Enzo Nareza, Zachary DeLello, Peter Onjak, Chris Wilson, Henry Sanford, and several other drivers as we wait for the command to fire engines to be given. As I just confused myself, Vince, I saw Cole Raymond in this race, and it made me think of Corey Raymond from the first race.
Yeah, the Raymond, I don't know if there is a relation or not, but that is interesting.
I believe there is, but anyway, we'll wait for the command to fire engines, and then we're going to go through and remind everybody here who made it into the main event through the 3 heat races.
Drivers, start your engine!
Yeah, everybody is rolling. Reminder that this race actually has 32 cars instead of 31 like LCQ number 1 did. We'll see if that extra car changes any of the racing up. Anyway, Lane Sanford won LCQ number 1. Let's talk about those heat races. Heat 1, winner was Joshua Teppensaw, Gene Sanford, Heather Willington Turner, Jonathan Wong, Keith Martin, Trey Smith, Patrick Smith, Diego Yepes, Morgan Turner, and Seth Cole all raced their way in through Heat 1. Heat 2, Dylan Young won that race. Logan York, Beverly Creed, James Ellison, Terry Lee, Deanna Jones, Charles Sanders, Vince Fries, Lorenz Maga, and Riley Spurley-Tube raced their way in. And from Heat 3, we had Cole Deaver, Stephen Colon, Keith Rich, Daniel Bouchard, Jesse Turner, Dylan Ibrahimian, Brett Moma, Hunter Braxton, Grace Takayama, and Tim Sanders all raced their way in. 1 spot remains, the 42nd place starting position, as the drivers race off into turn 1.
Rich got a rocket in the start, absolutely blasted Jawit down the first turn. But can he hold it? We saw the first race, right? The first LCQ. 2 guys, Marin and McShane, had that bubble of air, but let's see if Rich can do that with whoever he gets alongside. And that was around lap 2 or 3. So let's these guys get up to speed and we'll figure it out from there.
We saw in the first LCQ that if you had the car and the skill and you got the right draft partner, you could make the outside line work and you could race the inside line. Can Andrew Rich do that here against Mike Corvo? As lap 1 is complete. So Vince, we've seen cautions on a lot of different laps. Lap 16 twice, lap 8 once, lap 3 once, and then lap 15 once. So when we really don't know when we could have a caution here.
But we know 15 is the cutoff to get that 1-lap shootout, now that we've seen that first race. And since we had a yellow lap 3 on that first one, And they're already going 4 wide. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it on lap 3 here, because the way they're racing, getting sketchy.
And Andrew Rich is doing his best to stay up front on that outside line. He's got Carabell helping him, along with Owen Crafton there in the 54. But it looks like Austin Ashkar is going to make it 3 wide for the race lead as we've hit lap 3. And there they go. They're crashing again as they go 4 wide for the lead in the turn 1. It's the 50 of David Smith taking the race lead. But crashed again on lap 3, Vince.
Yeah, I think it's just aggressive racing, but at the front, though, you see Bromers, Nick Breeding to the front right now.
Nick Breeding with help from Henry Sanford. The 06 and the 6, different manufacturers, but working together here. Who leads them back to the caution? It'll be Nick Breeding. The drivers will slow down. Enzo Nareza started 23rd. He's made his way up to 10th. He was very fast in his qualifying session. Andrew Rich going to hang on. He is down to 12th now, though. Pat Johnson, Samet Oskin, Kev Shearer, Zachary DeLello all making it through. Peter Onjak included. So a lot of our notables continuing. Oh, but Nicholas Jawit, who started second, the front row curse continues here in LCQ number 2. Manny Salato and Evan McCullum also involved, but not seeing any real heavy damage here. I think all of these drivers should continue. But caution flag is out once again here on lap 4. Same as LCQ number 1, and me and Vince are going to go see what exactly caused the first caution of this race. Looking at our first caution, the last chance qualifier number 2, and it's just a 4 wide gone wrong once again as Evan McCullum is going to get turned here by Pat Johnson.
Yeah, Pat was looking for a 4 wide move. I knew he wasn't going to work before getting to the outside line. There he goes, right into McCollum, Filato, Jawit, and it's on from there.
And look at that. Marcus Yepes and Ron Bishop doing great work, just slamming the brakes to miss this thing. 6 wide there for a second as they were avoiding the crash. But amazing job by Yepes. Yepes gave up so much to just not be involved in that accident.
You got to do to make sure you get to the front, stay around at the end of this 20-lap event.
All right, well, with the replay out of the way, let's take you to the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing here. We'll have 13 laps to go in last chance qualifier number 2. Nobody retiring from that incident. We did see Pat Johnson come down pit road. He ended up getting a little piece of it there in the beginning. But here's your top 10 rundown. Coming to the restart, Nick Breeding leading, Henry Sanford second, Chris Wilson third, Owen Crafton fourth, Mike Corvo fifth, David Smith sixth, Ryan Brommer seventh, Carabell eighth, Austin Ashkar ninth, and Enzo Nareza in the 10 rounds out the top 10. Andrew Rich fell down to 12th. So we look through some other notables here. Samet Oskin 19th, Kev Shearer 20th, DeLello 21st, Peter Onjak 24th. And then we believe Manny Salato stayed out. Pat Johnson, Evan McCullum, and Nicholas Jawit all came down pit road. We'll see if these guys can stay up to speed with the damage they received from the first caution flag. Vince, like last chance qualifier number 1, will we see another crash?
And I really don't see how we don't. These guys are getting way too aggressive as Nick Breeding is going to lose that lead. Here comes Sanford. Now the question is, do we see it at lap 15 or 16? I think that's the biggest thing. We might have 7 or 8 laps left in this race. That's it. It's going to be interesting.
Do we see it earlier, though? I mean, they're strung out right now, but we could see it earlier.
We could. For the fans' sake, if they want to show, earlier the better for a more enhanced restart. But Breeding's in the back, Sanford's at the back. Here comes Chris Wilson, and here comes our Polster, not that far back. Rich, he's lurking.
Man, Chris Wilson restarted third, already to the race lead as the drivers get up to speed. As they're 4 wide for second place. That puts Mike Corvo all the way up top, and then that is Austin Ashkar all the way down on the bottom.
These guys they're already looking to be aggressive. Ashkar, he's trying to stay in line though. Looks like we have some cars losing the pack though back there, Zach. I thought they wouldn't, but I guess some of that damage did prove costly.
You see Pat Johnson struggling to keep up. Manny Salado, Nicholas Jaweed, and Evan McCullum all losing the pack though. It looks like McCullum has the worst damage of them all, as he is down at 210 miles an hour with his foot to the floor. Jaweed a little bit faster at about 220. Salado actually going slower than that. And Salado did not pit to fix damage. But that's a tough break for those 4 drivers, as Marcus Yepes is doing his best to keep up in the draft here with Kev Shears. They are strung out, but they're starting to pack together here. As you see a little hint of 4 wide there at the back of the pack. As at the front, Chris Wilson is leading strong.
Well, now, Zach, but that gold attack is coming. We got Carabel, a couple other people in that pack.
That is
yeah.
James Saunders and Renan Izup.
Yeah, they'll definitely be there. We got, I think, a Campbell back there or somebody.
Yep.
There, yeah.
Bella Campbell there in the 8 on the inside line.
Yeah, watch the gold brigade as they make their way to the front. Harper McCain, Chris Wilson out front. See if they can do that bubble that we saw in the first race.
Single file top 3, as man, Chris Wilson seems to have a really fast aerodynamic 62 blender Dodge for this last chance qualifier race. We didn't see a top 3 breakaway in the first LCQ race, but here at 10 to go, coming to 9 to go in LCQ number 2, we're seeing just that.
What you want that last lap, right? They can't get you. Second and third can't get you, and here comes Carabel looking underneath. But right now, Chris Wilson loving what he's seeing out front as the pack is just 3 wide, no 4 yet.
And that is keeping the pack behind them from even getting 4 wide because they're so strung out in front of them.
It's funny because the first race had more cars involved, and they were getting more aggressive. Maybe it's the inexperience. We'll see.
Landon Smith Jr. 4th, as here comes Owen Miles in the 420 car. In 5th, here comes Bella Campbell. Almost 3 wide there. It's just going to be 2 wide as Peter Onjak finds himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, Onjak, he's moving up, man. He doesn't want those dry lips, as we talked about in this, when he had that first heat. Definitely wants to make sure it's a smooth ride. But right now up front, Chris Wilson, like you were saying, man, he's got that thing trimmed to the front. I wonder what happens if he gets to the back.
There it is. You just knew it was coming with two Pontiacs behind a Dodge. Harper McCain and Carabel both just kind of ducked out there into turn 1, and Wilson has no help. And it looks like he's going to get some maybe from Peter Onjak. Onjak to the top, as now Bella Campbell's going to make it 3 wide for 3rd. As Onjak's holding the middle, that's going to open up the bottom, and now he's up top 3 wide.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little shuffling. Once Wilson, he just doesn't have the car in the pack. He can only do it out front. McCain now, what can he do up front? As here comes Campbell and Bell, the Gold Brigade. What can those 2 gold cars do?
It's a Pontiac 1-2 as they're going to go 4 wide for 4th. That'll allow Bella Campbell to close up in 3rd. You got Ron Bishop on the inside line, Mike Corvo, Andrew Rich. You got the 58 of, man, this guy's got a mouthful of a name, Declan Wellington Turner.
Old DW.
They're getting racy now. Vince 4 wide, but look at that. Chris Wilson looked like he had a really quick car. Does he have time to get back to the front as he's all the way up top 4 wide, as now Carabel has been displaced by Bella Campbell.
Now here's the thing now, we're on lap 15. They got a wreck here. Anything past that could be in trouble. And here comes Bella Campbell for the lead. It's go time for her.
Bella Campbell looking for the race lead as Andrew Rich will get put in the middle by Owen Miles. Will we have a 420 car in the Crown Royal 300?
I'll look now, but here comes DW. I see Nick Breeding, the guy who led the restart under our first yellow.
That's Austin Ashcar in the 36-2. We've seen him make some crazy moves in this race. They're going to go 4 wide. That's Nick Breeding making it 4 wide for 5th place as the top 4 are in their respective draft lanes. Look at this, 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. And here we go, Vince. 5 to go, point of no return. If they wreck now, the race would be over. They're leaning doors. They're going to keep it together, but the 4 wide is here as Campbell and McCain are in the fight for their lives.
They reckon if they reckon the backstretch, watch Nick Breeding. He's going to have a heck of a run. Bella Campbell needs to block all lanes.
Renan Issip is right there too, right behind Breeding. Do they crowd? Do they crowd with the 4 wide?
Keep it together. Bella Campbell still leads. Nick Breeding and Issip looking behind.
3 wide throughout the pack. It's going to take somebody making a crazy move for them to go 4 wide again. They've settled it down. Coming to 4 to go.
Comes Breeding peeking, but here comes Issip. McKay's on the outside. That would have been a crazy last lap finish. They keep it together in the 1 and 2, 4 wide up front. Nick Breeding now shoved to the high line.
That is the 370 of Alexander Smith, who just made it 4 wide, and it settles back down to 3 wide already. But Nick Breeding, man, right back to the top. Don't know if he's going to have time to get back to the bottom line as here comes Alexander Smith now as Bella Campbell clears Harper McCain.
Here comes Chris Wilson, man. We talked about him being the rocket ship at the front with help from Kev Shear.
James Saunders, another golden car, trying to make his way towards the front as Bella Campbell leads the show, coming to 3 to go. Will they make it to the finish as there's 4 wide there at the back between DeLello and Brommer?
Stacked rhymes that are hot, but Chris Wilson looking for 4 wide. In the back, they're trying to keep it together. Yep, they do. Chris Wilson, Bella Campbell. This is going to be, and many others at the front. We'll see what happens.
Campbell leads Alexander Smith, first one in striking distance, then James Saunders. Saunders is going to make a move to the inside line. Here comes Samet Oskin on the inside. Here comes Chris Wilson in the 62.
You know, Oskin's a champion. He can get this done. But Bella Campbell seems to be on a mission.
Oskin gets put in the middle 4 wide by the 34 of Cole Raymond. Can Campbell block Wilson's run? Coming to 2 to go now. 6 miles to go if they don't crash.
I think Chris Wilson's got the position now, but can he hold it into 1? Bella Campbell shoved to the outside. Yep, Chris Wilson to the front.
4 wide in 3 different places behind them. As Wilson's strong 62 Dodge, he's got help from another Dodge in the form of Owen Crafton.
With the other Ravens too back there. Let's see what can happen though. This is going to be a wild finish here in the 3 or 4 for the second to last time.
They made it into turn 3. I think we're going to get the white flag here. Chris Wilson leads, Owen Crafton second. Cole Raymond on the inside line. Then it's Jansen Van der Haar. Raymond with a move on Crafton as they take the white flag. Chris Wilson leads it.
They got to go underneath Wilson. Wilson's had the best car up front. He's aerodynamically suited. Now is it about blocking lanes, or does Raymond have an amazing run from help from Bishop, I think?
Seth Cole's driving the Snickers Honda in the Crown Royal 300. Can the Hershey's 34 Toyota of Raymond make it in? Does he have a chance to get a run on Chris Wilson? Or is Wilson's car just so strong he's pulling down the straightaway?
3 and 4. I don't think they got enough. Chris Wilson, I think if he can block Raymond high, he's blocking him hot.
Oh, and they approach a lap car of Evan McCullum. They go high. Does Cole Raymond have anything for him? No, it'll be Chris Wilson winning last chance qualifier number 2. And, I mean, he had the best car leading this pack, Vince. I think well-deserved for Chris Wilson.
It's one of those things where the best car never wins. We've seen that many times in the past on play tracks, but tonight LCQ2, Chris Wilson dominated from pretty much start to finish. Great win, but Raymond, got to give credit. From nowhere to second.
Raymond tried. Ron Bishop, that is, in third. Owen Crafton, Carabel, Zachary DeLello, Marcus Yepes, Pretty Shaw, Ryan Brommer, Renan Issip, the top 10. As what a race. We had 28 drivers have a shot at this thing at the end, and Evan McCullum ended up being a lap car that almost spoiled the party for Chris Wilson right there at the end. Man, we are going to have a crazy 300-mile race tomorrow afternoon, Vince.
It's going to be wild. You think these 20 laps is something? 100 laps? I told they were going to see the whole field be in one piece like this second race. It was pretty much in one piece other than that one wreck, but look at that. Top 22 separated by just about a second. That's crazy.
Well, that'll do it for us tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. The 42-driver 4th Annual NRSL Crown Royal 300 field has been set. And we're looking forward to see who will get it done here in this new year. Me and Vince will see you tomorrow.
I don't know.